students, welcome to Dr. Deepa Dhamake's NEET Biology, and in today's session we mainly discuss about male reproductive system from chapter 3rd of class 12, human reproduction. When we discuss about the reproductive system, so first we study about the primary organ which is responsible for gametogenesis, and then we come towards the secondary organ. In male reproductive system of humans, you mainly remember the secondary organs or accessory organs are mainly consist of accessory ducts as well as the accessory glands. Ducts develop path for the spermatozoa and glands are responsible for the secretion of different chemical molecules. So now let's begin with the male reproductive system. When we here first you see what are the components of the male reproductive system. When we discuss position, you remember the male reproductive system in position is located in lower pelvis region of the abdomen. The some part of male reproductive system are present outside of the abdominal cavity, whereas the ducts are present inside the abdominal cavity. So how it is that we study male reproductive system, you remember it is made up of primary organ as well as it is made up of secondary organ, and in addition to primary and secondary organs, the external genitalia are also present. When secondary organs only helpful in the process of transfer of gametes. Primary organ, you remember the primary organ in human beings are pair of testes, whereas when we come towards secondary organ, so secondary organ you remember are accessory ducts and accessory glands. When we come towards ducts, so ducts you remember begins from rete testes, continue in vasa efferentia, then vasa efferentia you remember continue in epididymis. This epididymis again show the three different parts, and then epididymis is continue in vas deferens, or they are two in number, that's why we say vasa deferentia. And with this vasa deferentia, the ducts of accessory glands are come in contact and it will responsible for the formation of ejaculatory duct. So these mainly you remember are the accessory ducts. Path you remember as it is, and these ducts mainly responsible or mainly develop one path for spermatozoa. When we come towards accessory glands, so accessory glands you remember paired seminal vesicle, leaf shaped glands are there. Secondly, single prostate gland, and the third is again these are the small but paired glands, that is paired bulbourethral gland. So this part you remember. Now in today's session we mainly discuss about the structure and function of testes. So first you remember in human beings testes are located outside the body in muscular pouch. That muscular pouch is called as scrotum. So here first we discuss about the testes. Here you remember, located outside abdominal cavity in lower pelvis region. First you remember, and these testes when we begins to study, so first we study about one structure, that is scrotum. So scrotum, you remember, scrotum is muscular pouch show presence of testes. Similar to testes, scrotum is also made up of pair of pouch, and in each scrotum or in each sac one testes is located. Now here you remember, most important question is that what is the importance of scrotum? So scrotum, you remember, scrotum is thermoregulatory in function. Why it is thermoregulatory in function? Because one thing you remember, for the process of spermatogenesis, body requires low temperature, and at the low temperature of body is maintained by the scrotum. That's why at the time of spermatogenesis, you remember, scrotum function as a thermoregulatory organ. So it is thermoregulatory in function, and it maintain low body temperature, that means 2.0 to 2.5 degrees Celsius low body temperature at the time of spermatogenesis. ये part याद रखिए. So this you remember very well. The students who are preparing for board exams, those students prepared the importance of scrotum, because this question repeatedly asks for the 2 marks question, that what is the importance of scrotum or why the testes are situated in scrotum. Now here first we discuss about the internal structure of the testes. When we come towards the testes, so here we are only discussing the internal structure, that is testicular lobules and seminiferous tubules, structure of the seminiferous tubules. So now we come towards the internal structure. When we come towards the internal structure of testes, so here you remember, testes first show protective covering. These protective coverings are commonly called as theca, and there are 3 protective covering in each testes. One thing you remember, so protective covering outer is called tunica vaginalis. It is simply protective in nature. The middle protective layer is called tunica albuginea or albuginea आप कह रहे हैं, and this coat you remember, it is consist of fibrous connective tissue. The third innermost layer is tunica vasculosa, and this layer you remember show the fine network of blood vessels. So fine network of blood vessels are present in tunica vasculosa. So these three layers combine to form a protective capsule or protective covering around the testes, and all the three layers combinedly protect the testes from the mechanical shocks and jerks. Now when we come towards the structure, so every testes, you remember, every testes, it consists of 200 to 250, here you remember, lobules, and these lobules are called as testicular lobules. In each lobule, you remember, 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules are there. Each lobule, testicular lobule, show 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. And when we come towards the spermatogenesis, so up to class 10th, whenever you studied that the spermatogenesis take place inside the testes, but you very well remember that the originally spermatogenesis is take place in seminiferous tubule, because these seminiferous tubules made up of two types of cells. Predominantly the cell tubules are made up of germinal epithelium, and the sum of the cells of this germinal epithelium become male germ cell, or they are also called as spermatogonia, and these spermatogonia only undergoes in the process of spermatogenesis. The another special cells are present in testes, which are oval or somewhat elongate shape. These are called Sertoli cells, or also called as substanticular cell. So Sertoli cell or substanticular cell, you remember, what is the function, main function you remember? Sertoli cells are also called as nurse cell, because they provide nourishment or nutrient to germ cells as well as to spermatozoa. So provide a nutrient to developing spermatozoa. Secondly, they are also responsible for the release of some special hormones. So hormone part we study when we discuss about the hormonal control of male reproductive system. So this you remember, nurse cell, they are called as nurse cell because they provide the nutrients to the developing spermatozoa. And one question repeatedly asked, the head of spermatozoa is generally attached. So head of spermatozoa, you remember, generally attached with the Sertoli cells. Now we study the internal structure. ये आपने literature के form में study किया है. Now we come towards the diagram section, and with the help of diagram we study how the internal structure of testes is there. Now we study about the internal structure of the testes. When we study about the internal structure of testes, so here you remember the three layers are there, and these three protective layers we only draw in a part of section. So here you remember, this is the outermost covering. Then the fibrous coat is there, and the next is tunica vasculosa, To show that, we draw the circular structures here. So these three layers are there: outer, middle and inner. Outer is tunica vaginalis, middle is tunica albuginea, and innermost is called as tunica vasculosa. So these three layers we only draw in small section of the testes, and three layers are as it is present around the entire surface of the testes. Now we study when come towards the internal structure. So here you remember, through internally in testes, the 200 to 250 testicular lobules are there, and these lobules, you remember, these lobules are mainly main site of spermatogenesis. So in this way lobules are present, and inside these lobules, you remember, 1 to 3 highly coiled tubules are there, and these highly coiled tubule, you remember, is called as seminiferous tubule. Only one I draw here for easy explanation. So these are the seminiferous tubules, and in one, the seminiferous tubules are present in each and every testicular lobule. So only in few of them we draw these lobules. We draw the seminiferous tubule. In this I draw the two seminiferous tubules, because in between seminiferous tubule the fluid filled space is present. That space is called as interstitial space. So this you remember, and in between these two seminiferous tubule, this fluid filled space is available. That is called as interstitial space. Now here you remember the seminiferous tubule. Separately we draw the diagram for seminiferous tubule. Then we study the germinal epithelium and Sertoli cells. And in interstitial cell also, space also, some spatial cells are present. These cells are commonly called as Leydig cells, or they are called as interstitial cells. Now this you remember, the every testis here you remember, from every testicular lobule of the testes, by combining 1 to 3 seminiferous tubule, the one common duct is releases, and this common duct forms a fine network here. That fine network is called as rete testes. So here we only draw these ducts in this way, and as we cut the section, because of that these ducts are appear in this way. So the fine network of ducts are present, and the number of rete testes you remember is exactly कितने होंगे rete testes? The number of rete testes you remember exactly equivalent to the number of testicular lobule. If the number of testicular lobules are 200, then the rete testes are also 200 in number. For objective purpose you remember, because from every rete testes, from every testicular lobule, one rete testes or one ducts comes out by the fusion of 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Now all these rete testes again further undergoes in fusion. Fusion means again 40 to 50 rete testes are fused, and by fusion they form one broad duct. This broad duct is commonly called as vasa efferentia. So here you remember the dotted structures we show here. These are the vas efferent, or plurally they are called as vasa efferentia. And efferent means, you remember, the duct or the vessel which leaves the body organ, that is called as efferent. That's why it is called as vasa efferentia. Nearly 50 rete testes fuse, and by fusion of 50 rete testes, one vasa efferentia is formed, and such 4 to 5 vasa efferentia are present in testes, and they leave the testes. when we cut the vasa efferentia, or if the vasa efferentia get blocked, then the path of spermatozoa is blocked between, किसके बीच में block होगा? It blocked between the reti testes and epididymis, because now these 4 to 5 vasa efferentia combine to form one complex structure, and quite along with complex, quite highly coiled structure. That highly coiled structure is called as epididymis. So this part you remember, the highly coiled structure is formed here. That highly coiled structure is called as epididymis, and here we draw the irregular coiled pattern. This epididymis, you remember, the epididymis show highly coiled structure is this, and this epididymis, you remember, this epididymis again further divided into 3 parts. And secondly, the position, you remember, epididymis is present at the dorsal surface of the testes. So the vas efferentia turn towards the backside of the testes, and the epididymis is located towards the dorsal of the testes. So this part you remember. Now the again epididymis, you remember, 3 parts are there. These 3 parts are called as caput, epididymis, this is called corpus epididymis, and the lowest part, the part of the epididymis which is continue with vas deferens, that part is called as cauda epididymis. So this part you remember, most of the coiling is mainly appear in caput epididymis. The broad surface of the epididymis is also called as caput epididymis. Now this cauda epididymis leaves the scrotum, and with the help of inguinal canal it enters in abdominal cavity. So here you remember, the cauda epididymis now continue in another duct that is called as vasa efferentia, commonly we say, but for single it is called, vasa deferentia we commonly say, but for single we use the term that is vas deferens. So this part you remember, this is vas deferens. Both vas deferens when combinedly enters in your abdominal cavity, then the combinedly called as vasa deferentia. Now this vas deferens, you remember, this vas deferens with the help of inguinal canal enters into abdominal cavity. It is somewhat come above the level of the testes, but here I am made on the same level. Okay, so the vas deferens enter in abdominal cavity and it forms a loop over ureter, and after that you remember, once it form a loop over ureter, so here ureters, as we know, they opens into urinary bladder. So the vas deferens from each testes form loop here. The vas deferens from here also comes in contact, and both are combinedly called as vasa deferentia. Now in these, the ducts of seminal vesicles are opens. So when the vas deferentia and the duct of seminal vesicles, here just I draw the rough sketch of seminal vesicle that we will discuss in next class. So the seminal vesicle open their secretions in vas deferentia, and after that they will form one common duct. This common duct is called as ejaculatory duct. In ejaculatory duct, you remember, in ejaculatory duct, the prostate gland as well as bulbourethral glands pour their secretion, and all these secretions combinedly form the seminal plasma, and in that seminal plasma spermatozoa are present which comes out through the urethra. So this part you remember very well. Now here again one time I go for the labeling here. These are the testicular lobules. Testicular lobules you remember 200 to 215 number. The red colored ducts are appear. These ducts are called seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules when continue. So seminiferous tubules are continue in retitestes. Retitestes are continue in the form of, here you remember, retitestes. Retitestes are continue in vasa efferentia, and vasa efferentia now continue in epididymis. This path you remember very well, because before last year the path is asked in NEET exam as well as in board exam also. In regular board exams regularly this question is asked, draw the path for the spermatozoa. So as such you are not draw this diagram, but you have to only draw the graphical diagram that how the ducts are formed. So you simply write down seminiferous tubule, retitestes, vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens, and then ejaculatory duct. So this much part you remember. Now when we come towards the seminiferous tubule, so here you remember, this is just for explanation purpose I draw this diagram. So this is only the one imaginary diagram. This is one of the seminiferous tubule, and this is the another seminiferous tubule. These seminiferous tubules show the interstitial space or the fluid filled space present between these seminiferous tubule. This space you remember is called as interstitial space. In this interstitial space some special cells are present, and these cells are called Leydig cells. The Leydig cells are under control of LH hormone and responsible for the secretion of male androgen testosterone. So that we will discuss in next class. Secondly, the seminiferous tubule you remember, internally seminiferous tubules are made up of single layer germinal epithelium, and this germinal epithelium at specific distance show some special large cells with oval shaped nucleus. So these cells you remember, these cells are of germinal epithelium where we show the black nuclei, and the cells where the red nuclei are nucleus is represent, these cells are called as Sertoli cells. The germinal epithelium cells undergoes in spermatogenesis. How they undergoes in spermatogenesis, that we will discuss in coming sessions, but for today's session I only discuss up to the structure of testes as well as the accessory duct. Two terms when you study about the scrotum in reference books, so two terms are provided there, that is one inguinal canal and second is spermatic cord. Spermatic cord you remember, spermatic cord is formed by spermatic artery, spermatic veins and the nerve fiber, and due to which scrotum get connected with the nervous system as well as the circulatory system. Secondly, inguinal canal. Inguinal canal is a structure by which scrotum is attached to the abdominal cavity, and through that inguinal canal only this vas deferens enter inside the abdominal cavity. So that part you additionally remember, and with this I sum up my today's session. Whatever we study in today's session, for important purpose you remember, you very well remember the cells of seminiferous tubule. You very well note down the path of, separately you note down the path of spermatozoa or how the accessory ducts continue one by one. So path of spermatozoa, and again you remember the role of scrotum in thermoregulation. So with this I sum up my today's session. Hope आप सभी को समझ में आ रहा होगा. And in case if you feel any doubt even in those topics which we already completed, in those topic also if you feel any doubts and difficulty, so kindly mention those dates and doubts and difficulty in comment box. The students who are new for the session, again उनके लिए formal section है कि आपको join करना है. So you continue with the Dr. Deepa Dak as NEET Biology. So kindly subscribe my channel, like my videos, and up to next session, stay motivated, stay blessed, and work hard.